At the time of recording this video, it is September 20th, and there's a huge shift about to happen that you need to be aware of. Hi, my name is Alex Murphy, and if we haven't met before, I'm an absolute expert in helping the everyday CrossFit member upgrade their nutrition mindset so that they can lose weight and finally keep it off long term. This channel will bring you the exact tools and skills that I teach my clients so that you can make a head start on your own weight loss journey. If you like what you see, consider sticking around or sharing it with someone who you think might benefit from it. So, entering October, November, and December, every year I see a huge shift with some different patterns that people need to be aware of. We describe push and pull seasons in the fitness industry. Push seasons where you're working harder on your health and weight loss goals, and pull seasons where you're relaxing a little bit, as you're entitled to do. Typically, we recognize January, February, and March as push seasons. New year, new me, everyone is on the same track with their health and weight loss goals. So it seems appropriate that everyone is pushing on the same journey in those months. It's easier to push through the early months of the year because you've likely had a few weeks or even months off around Christmas and New Year. Summer months are typically when people pull back. You work quite hard in the lead up to it, but then the beer garden's open, the kids are off school, and you want to go abroad. So you're entitled to your time to relax a little bit and not focus so much purely on your weight loss goals. But as we enter the next 90 days, October, November, and December are always a push season for people. Days get shorter, mood gets lower, there's less going on generally, and you realize that your self-care has to step up a little bit in these next few months because there's so many seasonal traps to fall into. So for me, there's almost no better time than October and November to be working on your weight loss goals. So if you're watching this right now, you're likely about to enter a push season. Here are 3 things that I would do to make these next 90 days the best of your life and to wake up on Christmas morning in the best shape of your life, not having to worry about what foods you're eating or gaining weight because you ate too much that day. Let's go. Number 1, plan your push and pull. The key with sustainable weight loss is planning it in a way that allows you to push more than you pull. You ideally want your push to be as long as is manageable and your pull seasons to be as short as possible to give you enough mental energy to go back and get into it again. Think about it. If you do 4 weeks of really extreme, really intense dieting, and then for the next 6 months you are unfocused, unmotivated, binge eating, and just generally kind of lost, that's doing the exact opposite of what your diet was intended to do. Whereas a really nice way to practice sustainable weight loss would be to go for a 12 to 16 week at most focus period of weight loss, and then relax yourself a little bit for 2 to 4 weeks. And when I say pull or relax, I don't mean going completely off the other end of the spectrum, binge eating and gaining all the weight back. I just mean eating in a way that's sustainable, balanced, but not focusing so much on the numbers. This is actually the method that we use inside our program. We work in sprint or push type blocks for a little bit with 2 to 4 week maintenance periods for our clients to relax their mindset, refuel their body again, and enjoy performance training for a little while. Because to be honest, it's like studying for an exam. You need the mental rest after you've worked to a certain point to replenish and come back with more energy to attack your next weight loss phase. So plan in your pull seasons first. For most of us, that's probably going to be the week of Christmas and New Year, but you'll also want to pencil in things like birthdays, office nights out, and family weekends like Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. Step number 2, reframe what push feels like for you. If your idea of pushing for weight loss sounds like chicken salad and drastically slashing your calories, you're probably watching this video because you've been let down by your weight loss attempts in the past and you need to figure out how some people can do this so sustainably year round. The mistake that I see people making with their push phases is going way too aggressive and way too restrictive far too early. Let me explain. People often restrict their calories and restrict their food choices so much that they enter this cycle of restricting, binge eating, feeling guilty about failing on their diet again, and starting the process all over again, which gets them nowhere fast. Super frustrating. So instead of going 0 to 100 really aggressively, try working out your calorie maintenance level. Take a 5 to 10% deficit of that and be okay with losing 0.5 of a kilo to a kilo each week. That's actually a really sustainable result. Don't get obsessed with trying to lose 20 pounds in the next 2 weeks and then get upset and feel like a failure when it hasn't happened for you. Be patient. It's not about exerting more motivation or discipline on yourself. It's just about extending the timeline at which you see results. The title of this video is Drop 10 Kilos in 90 Days. And if you actually just work out how much that is per week, it's about 0.5 to 1 kilo a week for 12 weeks. Also, don't get caught up in what foods you're eating. 500 calories of chocolate is the same as 500 calories of chicken and rice. You might not feel amazing if chocolate is 90% of your diet, but you get the picture. Step number 3, Do not rely on motivation or discipline. You need to know why you're doing this. I personally hate the motivation and discipline culture that bombards the internet these days. Not only does it make you feel bad for not doing enough, but it offers no solution for people who've been struggling with weight loss their whole life. You just need to be more disciplined, bro. Shut the up. The biggest thing that we do inside our program is focus on identity change. Because if you're having to exert willpower and discipline and motivation to get towards your goals, you're using all of these things to literally fight a part of your identity. So why don't we just work on changing the identity first, and then we don't have to use willpower, motivation, and discipline all the time. Your healthy behaviors and weight loss behaviors just become part of who you are. So start from the ground up. Change who you are and how you talk about yourself. Here's 3 really positive frames that you can try next time you're faced with a tough nutrition decision. I actually don't need that right now. That's not who I want to become. Or number 3, I will feel better with this choice. That attaches a positive feeling, a positive emotion to a certain decision or outcome. And that's extremely powerful. I mentioned in my last video that you don't want to drop 10 kilos. You want the feeling that dropping 10 kilos gives you. So attach all your positive outcomes to a feeling and attach all your negative outcomes like binge eating or eating junk food or takeaways to a negative outcome, like feeling low on energy and self-esteem. These 3 frames alone will make weight loss so much easier for you. Rather than always refusing foods and telling people that you're trying to be good, which by the way, implies that there's a part of you that's bad and implies that the person themselves who's offering you food is also bad or below you and you're somehow high and mighty, which actually creates more conflict and friction between you. But that's a topic for another video. I hope that you found this useful. Remember, at the time of watching this, you have about 90 days before you switch off for Christmas. And I want you to enjoy that weekly period with your family between Christmas and New Year where you don't know what day it is, you don't have anything going on, you're falling asleep watching movies on the couch. That is one of the best parts of the year for me. But the only way to enjoy that Christmas break without the guilt and the shame and the lack of confidence in your own body is to be absolutely ruthless with yourself between now and then. Most people drastically underestimate just how important these next 90 days are and how useful they can be in moving you ahead of where you want to be. Imagine you didn't start January in the lowest place possible, but you actually started 5-10 steps ahead of yourself and everyone else who's trying to get back into the gym. I promise you, these next 90 days are absolutely pivotal. But remember, do not be a professional note taker. Take these 3 ideas and put them into practice immediately. The reason I give away all my best advice and information for free on the internet is, number 1, I want to gain your trust and help you. But number 2, I know that most people have an implementation problem, not a knowledge problem. This stuff is all out there. I'm just making it more concise for you. And if you really struggle with the implementation part, that's what you pay for when you join our coaching program. We help you get to results faster by avoiding mistakes and keeping you more accountable than you can be to yourself. So I promise that this advice will work for you. But if you need a little bit more help with the accountability and the implementation side, I'd love to support you with that. There'll be a link below this video to join our waitlist for the next time that coaching spaces become available, and you'll get a free gift as a thank you. Best of luck.